About 4 years ago, I made a video on how to repair my damaged concrete stairs because they looked a little something like this. And I made them look a little something like this, but now, 4 years later, they look like this. So in this video, I'm gonna try and fix it again, and hopefully this time, I do it in a way where it'll last even longer. And we're gonna do it right now. So the first question you might have is, why did this happen again? And I think I know why, but in general, whenever you're repairing concrete like this, it's really a temporary fix. The thing to make it last another 50 years would be to tear these stairs out and do something different. But I don't want to do that. I'm okay with patching this. It's only going to take a couple hours, and I think I know what's causing the issue. So if you look close, right here, this railing, I believe, is what's causing the issue. There's rust right here, and I'm willing to bet that down here, this is rusting out and it's expanding. And I got a lot of comments about this saying that that is what's happening. It causes cracks, and I'm in New England, so water will get down there in the wintertime. It will freeze and expand, create cracks. It'll get warmer, water will come out, and then it'll freeze again and just continue that cycle, pushing it out further and further. So what I'm gonna do, pretty much the same repair, except I'm gonna cut this railing and try and make it so water can't get down there. That's the plan anyways. Hope it works. So let's do it. First thing I'm gonna do is get rid of all this loose material. It's gonna be pretty easy to start. And I have no idea what I'm gonna find down here. In fact, what is that? That's interesting. Is that glass? That might be some kind of epoxy. I wonder if they put like a cup here or a bottle and put this in here. I don't know, but I want to investigate this. It is doing exactly what I was saying. This is all rusted, and this is all sand. But what I'm gonna do is chip out all the loose stuff, and I'm gonna re-pour this, and I'm gonna chip out all along here so that I can get a bracket up here after I cut it. Hopefully, this repair will be even better than the last. That's the hope anyways. Now all of this is starting to go to, that's my repair right there. So you can see my Tapcons that I used. I should be able to reuse those. They are getting a little rusty, but maybe I'll take them out, put some new ones in. But all this stuff, might as well take the original patch out of there. Even if this is adhered pretty good, I'm gonna take it out because it's gonna fail eventually. So I'll just redo it while I'm here. Yeah, that stuck pretty good. Lots of sand. There's a crack right here starting. Yeah, that would be the next spot that the water would get in. And do the same thing. Yeah, that actually stuck really good. So that's the old concrete. I don't want to go too crazy. Well, I may have got a little aggressive there. Okay, well. Just try and get off all of the loose material. If it comes off with a tap like this, you should clean it up. Get it off of there. That stuff adhered pretty well. You can even see, I think this is the old bonding adhesive. Before I waste too much time on this, I'm gonna chip this out and see what's going on here. Before I go too crazy here, I wanna make sure this is gonna work. This is what I'm planning on using. So that is 1 inch by 1 inch, and this is 1 inch by 1 inch. So I wanna get at least down far enough where I can get this bracket underneath and bring it up here, do the concrete, and then attach it. I'm gonna get it to where this gets loose. There we go. These holes right here are for set screws, so I want to at least cut this where it will actually touch metal, but it's really close right there. So I think I'm just going to go right at that line where the paint is and the rust starts. I'm going to use a brand new metal blade. Just make my cut right here. My Sawzall. So not as much as I would have thought with the rust. However, just being able to get down in here with the water is, I think, part of the problem. So now I'm gonna need to do whatever I have to get this on here. I can push this over, but I'm probably gonna have to chip this out a little bit more. Hope it doesn't have to go straight up. Now I'm just gonna bring this up here and put some tape on it. Get it out of the way while we repair the concrete. And now we can chip out the rest of this. All the loose stuff. Another thing that could be happening is there's so much sand right here that the water could be getting in this crack, getting absorbed into the sand and creating moisture there, and it might actually be expanding it from the bottom. So when I'm done with this, I'll go around and seal the driveway to the concrete. That might make a difference. Trying to see, looks like there's a crack forming right here. So let's see. Yep, I think the Tapcons worked pretty well. As you can see here, the concrete is stuck to them, but they're starting to rust up in places, so I'll take them out and put new ones in. It's a little extra step. This will kind of create something for this new concrete to hold on to. And if you didn't know, Tapcons are concrete screws. Just want to make sure they're in far enough so they don't stick out the front. And then I'm going to put a couple more in. Probably one right here, one over here, maybe one right here. So I use a hammer drill with the appropriate sized bit. I'm gonna take a wire brush and just clean all this, and this will just make it so that all that loose dust and everything, and get that out of there. And then it'll kind of mark up any concrete that isn't rough, which I think all of it's pretty much rough. Do this the whole way. Essentially, all these little things that are falling, that's what we're trying to get off of there. Now we'll just clean this giant pile of concrete. So this is kind of a full circle moment with these stairs. This is the type of cement that I used. In fact, this is the exact bucket. And while I fill this up, I'll tell you that this stuff is great for smaller repairs. This may have been a little too much to use this. So I'm gonna use something different. I'll show you once I clean this up. That's what I'm gonna use. Fast setting concrete mix. Sets in 30 minutes, applications 2 inches and over. So I'm hoping this is gonna be better. It has aggregate in it. I hope there's not too much aggregate, and I can maybe add more water so that the cream will rise and I can get it on the sides and everything to make it nice and smooth. But we'll see. And I doubt this is gonna match the color of these stairs, but I'm not too concerned with that anyways. But first, get all the dust off of here. Here's something that may seem a little silly, but this is actually something that I've seen some people do to make the concrete stronger. Just take some wire. This will act kind of like rebar, obviously on a smaller scale. It'll basically just give the concrete more stuff to hold on to and hopefully give it a stronger bond. I'll do some more right here. If you wanted to, you could make a nice big form for here all the way down this way. But this is what I have, so this is what I'm going to use. And I want to do it in sections anyways because it sets so fast. So in fact, I'm just going to put some screws in here and hold it like this and put some weight right here on both sides. I'm not going to screw it in to the concrete and then patch it afterwards. I think it'll work just as well. Once that's cured enough, it's not going to take long. I'll take this apart and then I'll do this right here. Unless when I'm mixing it up, I feel like I can just kind of fill this. It's going to be a game time decision, but I'll put this together and have it ready anyways. Now, just because this is square doesn't mean that's where I want it to be, because these stairs are old and they might not be square. When I put it there, it actually looks pretty good. I think that's gonna work. 5/8. Perfect. Fire bricks. There's a little gap there. Some of this might sneak through, but it's okay. Forgot to do one thing. Before I put that in there, I'm gonna use this concrete bonding adhesive. This is a little different, or it's a different brand than the last one I used. This says no waiting time, so you don't have to let it dry or anything. The last one I put directly on here and let it get tacky, and then I put the concrete in. But this, you kind of make a slurry. So what that means is I'm gonna open this bag and I'm gonna take a little bit of this. There's a lot of aggregate in this. I hope it comes out smooth. And then I'm gonna add some of this. If I have to, I can use a little bit of water. Don't need much right here, so, whoops, that was a little much. And then I'm just gonna mix this up, my paintbrush, and just kind of paint this. And this is gonna help grab onto this old concrete with the new. I can put my form back and mix. I'm only gonna mix up as much as I think I need, and I'm gonna mix it by hand. It's a little cold today, so I'm using warm water. If it's really cold, you wanna use hot water. If it's really hot out, you wanna use very cold water, and you can even add some ice cubes. That'll just help the curing process. Let's start like this. I'll work this right down in there. Make sure it's filling in all that. tap along the outside edge. This will help to fill in voids, get rid of air bubbles, and as you can see, a little leaking out the bottom. It's okay. I think this will set fast enough where we can clean it up. Gonna have to touch it up anyways. And that sank a little bit, so we're gonna add a little more. This will also help some of that cream rise to the top. You know that saying? So it'll finish nicely on the top. As it cures, it's dropping a little bit over here. So just add a little bit. Pretty loose. I don't want to work it too much, but I want to get it close. It's been about 25 or 30 minutes, and I'm going to try and take this form off. Take these screws out. And be real careful. It's probably stuck to this a little bit. These over here, just give this a little tap. Like this. And then slide it. I'm going to try and make this look as pretty as I can. Use as much of this as I can to fill that in. I can take some of the stuff that I mixed up and work it in there. This is why it's important to tap it, vibrate it on the sides so you don't get voids like this, and mix it nice and wet. I didn't want to, but I'm going to mix up some of this fast setting cement patcher that is the same brand, but the difference is it doesn't have any aggregate and it's better for smaller applications. So I'm going to fill in that stuff with this. Add it to my mix here. Again, there's a lot of different ways to do this. You may not approve of this method, but let me know. I was on the fence about just adding this right into that mix, but here we are. By the way, the aggregate is rocks. In case you didn't know what I was talking about. Then I can take a sponge, just carefully make this look nice. I have to let it sit up more. And I can kind of round this edge a little bit to make it match a little bit more. Try and clean this up a little bit. And now we can do the front. Fingers crossed. A little tap. Okay, it's not too bad, but I gotta fill this void. Let's see how we do with the sponge. We do the top too. Before I go too crazy there, I'll let that set up a little bit. Let's fill the other stuff in. Of course, hindsight's 20/20. I should have done a full form, but whatever. Sorry. I already did my slurry, and now I'll set this form right here. And that's why we do that. All right, and we give that time to set up. I'm just gonna tap this over a little bit more. This part right here, I wouldn't have done a form anyways, and I'm gonna fill it all with that cement patcher. Maybe that'll stop some of the water. I know that concrete is porous and water can get through it, but maybe I'll put some sealer on it. Plenty wet. There's barely gonna be any here, so I'm not worried about that, but at least keep it wet. This is a good thing about this stuff is you can work with it a lot easier. Since I have this mixed up, I'll just do a little patching just so this is all the same. While this concrete is still wet, I'm gonna take this off and drop it down where it's gonna go. And just mark like this. That way I'll know exactly where to drill. It's starting to harden up. That's good. Let's see if this is ready. Yep, we have voids. If it was really hot out, what you could do is spray it like this and put some plastic over it, and then that moisture wouldn't be able to evaporate and it would keep it wet and help the curing process. But it is nice out today, but it's not super hot. I'll clean up the driveway as much as I can. I'm gonna spray this down one more time and try and finish this as far as, you know, make it look as good as I can. And then I'm gonna wait because I have to drill those and they're not gonna be ready today, so I'll have to come back. I gotta say, that looks pretty good. We'll see what it's like when it cures. We'll come back to drill those. Tomorrow it's gonna rain, so the next day. So we're gonna wait about 48 hours. For anything structural, they recommend 7 days before you attach fasteners like that. And I'm gonna wait a month and then I'll paint this and then probably seal it. And I think that'll help a lot, but one step at a time. 2 days later, and this is what it looks like. Obviously still curing. It's gonna take a full 28 days to change color, kind of like this. And at least it should be all uniform. It looks good. I think it looks good. So I'm just gonna take this brush and kind of get this loose stuff off. As long as this is cured enough to drill, I'm just gonna be careful when I do to attach that. This is all filled in. Might not be the prettiest fix with the driveway, but I think that's gonna help. So to attach this, I'm gonna be using Tapcons. I know these are Phillips, but they're, I believe, a number 3, so we should be fine. Shouldn't strip out. I just think those are gonna look the best, and I'll touch them up with some paint afterwards. This might be a little tricky. This is where this is going, just wherever it lands, just like that. But I think what I'm gonna have to do is either angle it slightly because of the way the drill is, at least in the front here. The back is obviously gonna be a little tricky. And if you had like a right angle drill or something, that might help. But I'm gonna do whatever I can to get it done. I think to start, I'll pull it over like this and then drill straight in. I'll have my drill on the highest setting, the fastest setting, and just go slow because this is still curing, but it should be cured enough. Hopefully. Let's see. Nice and straight if I can. That's what you want to hear. This is a hammer drill. So that top layer you can see is kind of breaking apart a little bit, but obviously there's something solid in there from the sound of the drill. So let's drill all these holes. This is a 3/16 drill bit, by the way, for 1/4 inch tap cons. Clean these holes out with a vacuum. I'm going to use some butyl tape. We'll do sticky side up. That way this will have a nice seal to it. I'll put them all in before I tighten them down. And to make sure I'm going in straight, I'm going to use a right angle adapter. Here's an extra step you can take. It's out now that there's a hole there. Take some caulking. I'm not going to use silicone because I want to be able to paint it, but this is black. I'll go right down in that hole and put some caulking in there. And then put these in. And then that caulking is going to come out, and I'm just going to clean it up. That's going to make a nice seal. And the reason I'm taking this extra step is because right there you can see a small gap, so I want to seal that up. Any little thing like that that I can prevent water from getting in is going to be beneficial. Now with these set screws, might as well put some caulking in here. All right, here you can see water could sneak in here. I'll caulk that in. Cut this off. Try to do it nice and tight. And then finally, I'll just run a bead right around here. I don't know how well this tape is going to stick, but I'm going to try and just tape around this so it's ready for paint once the caulking is dry. This stuff should be paint ready in about an hour, the caulking. That should be the last step. Should be good to go. I think this came out good, and I think that is gonna make a huge difference. I'm hoping anyways. If you would have done it differently, let me know in the comments. But if you had to do something like this, I hope the video helps. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Steps that I take for this one, and hopefully the steps that I take. Ow. Know what I mean, Lauren? Spider. No. This whole thing is chipping. Is it a time capsule? Did I come across a time capsule? Hope that that's good enough. Bless you. There we go. Maybe if it wasn't a Ryobi, you could. Is this, thinking of mixing this in, like salt baying it? Nah. You're right, Lauren. You're always right. Didn't see that coming, did you, Lauren? Oh, oh no. Why didn't I put the cap back on? What do I do about that? Is this stuff just gonna dry up? Whatever. Sorry. Know what I mean? Do I know what I'm talking about? I don't know. Is that okay? Do you want me to do it again? Are you gonna say anything? You got a trip down memory lane. Just cut all that, Lauren. You don't want it like that. And they call this stuff self-healing. Self-healing. Why do they call it self-healing? Is it a superhero? This doesn't tell you I'm not brand loyal. I don't know what will. Ryobi, Milwaukee, DeWalt. Whatever works. Get a mess, Lauren. Whoopsie poopsie. And hope the wind doesn't pick up. There's the wind. Do you wanna come over here? I'm gonna tape this up